Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is the Pile On, an NFC North podcast, recording this at 11 p.m. After the second week of the NFL. It's pretty much wrapped up except for Monday Night Football. We just got done watching Seahawks and Patriots. But I'm Big Z representing the Detroit Lions. And we got Kinger representing the Pack.
Go Pack, 2-0, baby. Another week, another win.
Then we got Barney with Bears.
Clubbed up, baby. Bear down.
And then Remy with the Vikings.
Hang in there, Vike fans. We'll make it through.
No Skull Bowl,
Just
Purple
the
Rain.
saddest intro, the saddest introduction.
Yeah, well, I feel you, Remy. I feel you. We'll be getting to that in a moment. But, man, Barney, I guess let's start with you with the Bears. Let's start with you. A close one at the end. You know, Bears get out to a 17-0 lead, and they almost pull a Detroit Lions and blow it in the fourth quarter, a 17-point lead. But nonetheless, you actually pulled it out in the end, so congratulations to you, starting off 2-0. A very ugly one, but
I appreciate that. There was a lot of hard work by me watching it from the couch, so thank you for the for the praise there. But yeah, I mean, a win's a win. I think I said it was going to be 20-16 the other night. It was 20-17, or I'm sorry, it was 17-13.
No.
Just an ugly win. It was a black and blue day today, but it was a collective effort. You know, we had a lot of timely plays, a lot of timely turnovers. We had a big man catch today. Our right tackle with 3 minutes left in the game.
Unreal.
Had a deflected pass shot right back into his chest, and he caught it for the first down on a fourth down play. You know, I might say that's the play of the game, just, you know, because not too many of those kind of plays come around in a season. But
that's when you know things are going right.
Yeah, exactly. Trubisky, he started off the game really well. He could have had a couple more touchdowns, but a few balls went through the hands of some of our guys. You know, when he missed, he really didn't. You know, he didn't have those ugly overthrows or you know, things that you're just shaking your head at that he's had in the past. He did have 2 picks today, but I still think they were great balls. One of them, I think, was just a phenomenal play.
Yeah. The one
on the perimeter with that jump ball there. I think 9 times out of 10, Allen Robinson's going to come down with that. But, you know, I can't really fault. That's not something I'm going to hang my hat on Trubisky. So, you know, he came in. He did enough and what he needed to do to get a victory here. You know, it was kind of nice right off the bat. We had like a 8-minute drive for a touchdown. Just eating up clock with the first possession. The Giants didn't get their first possession until like there was like 6 minutes left on the first. So a good way to establish the tempo. And then once we did play defense, Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack, they had in that first 3 and out, they had a strip sack. You know, so I know both those guys are a little banged up, but they still did enough to make an impact today, and it was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, how was that D line premiering with Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack? How did it go throughout the day? Was it just the first quarter, or was it consistent throughout the game? A consistently good pass rush from both guys.
Yeah, just a much better pass rush than we did versus you guys in week 1. Just a handful of sacks. Barcavius Mingo had a sack. Khalil, you know, everybody got their hands in and got dirty.
Khalil Mack, Akeem Hicks, Mingo, and then Quinn.
Right. And I will say, you know, that they had their way with the offensive line with the Giants, but we've already discussed that's not one of the units to be proud of in the NFL. But, you know, we didn't really know what we were going to get out of Quinn and Mack either because, I mean, they're really banged up right now. So it was just good to see them out there and, like, you know, finally be like, oh, okay, this isn't going to be something that's lingering, like, you know, week to week and whatnot. So, yeah, a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, Barney, huh? That's how you would describe the Bears-Giants game today. Was a lot of fun.
Honestly, I'm so hungover right now that just coming out alive with a W was really all I had on my plate today. That was my goals sheet, and it just said win.
All right. Well, I respect that. You ready to hear to some of my observations on the game today?
Please fire away.
Well, so I to be honest, I was watching Green Bay, so I didn't pay too close of attention to the game, but just taking a look into the stats, and I did have the red zone going simultaneously. I just absolutely love how this is setting up for the Bears, right? 2-0, you beat the Lions. You beat a New York Giants team, which really struggled. But, I mean, just looking today, Bears 65 yards on the ground against a Giants defense that let up, I believe, about 150 to the Steelers last week. You got Trubisky throwing 41 times today. That's not necessarily... Oh, I'm looking at...
I have Trubisky throwing 28 times.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're looking at the wrong stat sheet there, buddy.
Oh, boys, that's brutal. Yes, I am. Because I'm looking at the game. Oh,
yeah.
You're looking like you got some egg on your face.
Yeah.
Right now.
Oh, no. Yeah, this completely ruined my whole take here. So this is somebody not watching the game at all. Daniel Jones, the best defensive play of the game from the Giants. You get the lucky tip for the Bears, but... Wow. Okay. So I have no comment there. Bears win ugly. Good for them. I had them win this week. I'll shut my mouth. On to the next one.
Yeah. Trubisky, 18 of 28, 2 touchdowns, 190, 2 picks. Bears had 135 on the ground, 82 from Montgomery. Montgomery looked better today, Barney. I was watching the game simultaneously. He looked much better.
He really stepped it up in the third and fourth quarter. We had a couple drives just go 5-6 minutes and chew up clock, and he was just churning out 10-yard run after 10-yard run, which is not something we see from him often, especially with our lack of an offensive line unit. So that was a lot of fun to watch and see. It was a different kind of styled Bears offensive attack today.
Yeah, I was curious because, or what do you thought about the approach today in the game, and if this is going to be something consistent going forward? Because there was 13 different guys that were targeted in the offense today, including Bobby Massey with that 4-yard catch on 4th and 1. So 12 guys without him. I'm just curious, is that something you foresee coming more, or just was it a matter of the game plan today with the Giants?
Yeah, to be honest, I think we're not the ones that are going to be able to usually dictate how we're like what's going to work and what's not. I think we'll take whatever we can get. But just from like a wide receiver perspective, Allen Robinson for like the first time wasn't 70% of the targets. It was spread out, like you said, 13 different guys. One of the guys that I really liked playing today, Darnell Mooney, he's a rookie. I keep getting more excited when he's out on the field. He made a couple great plays. He had a touchdown, his first touchdown of the year or for his career. So
fifth round pick out of Tulane.
Yeah. So it was everybody got their hands on the ball. There was a lot of good things going on with our offense. So I wish could have carried over and put a couple more points up on the board. I think a few of our drives really got away from us, which is untimely, mistakes, but whatever. Like I said, W is a W.
Yeah. Oh, man, Barney, you got to be feeling good about 2-0, though, heading into next week. Who do the Bears have next week?
We have the Falcons.
Oh, okay. And is that at home or away? I haven't gotten a chance to pull up their schedule.
You know what? That is a good question.
Pretty sure it's in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think it's in Atlanta. That'll be a tough one. Atlanta had their own struggles today. What a finish that one was. An onside kick recovery and getting the range for a field goal at the end. That was wild.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot more of an effort to beat, a team with his, like Atlanta that can put points up in a hurry. So that should be interesting. I'll start focusing on that after the next night.
Yeah, after you recover from your weekend here. Oh, man. So, all right, Barney, the Bears 2-0 to start the season. So I guess I can say congrats to you and other Bears fans listening out there. But unfortunately, well, it's good for you,
I was
Joe.
so ready to come bury the Bears too. That's so disappointing that I just did that. I was so ready to go at them. I just always.
Kinger. In all fairness, it wasn't like it was a pretty offensive performance by any means for the Bears. They got a lot of work to do.
That's true. I'm just always looking for that excuse. You know it.
Barney, do you have anything to add, or are you ready to move on?
Club Dub was a scene today. Everybody was having some fun. I wish I could. It was contagious, and you guys could get a couple W's under your guys' belts. I'm looking at you, Big Z and Remy. But hey, I'm sure they'll come your way.
Well, we'll get to me in a moment, but let's take it over to Remy there. It looks like he's in a cave. He's in a dark place right now, literally and or figuratively and literally. So Remy, just tell us what the hell went down in this 28-11 loss. I would say a debacle watching it. I was watching all three of these games simultaneously. Every time I look over, the Colts had the ball or Kirk Cousins is throwing an interception. Just break it down for us.
Yeah, I can speak for every Viking fan when I say this was the worst Viking game we've seen in years. They don't have an offense. It's week 2.
Wait, Remy, is it worse than that Buffalo Bills loss where they got their ass kicked? Remember, the Vikings are 13-point favorites and they lost by 30?
So we seem to we have a trend, and each year it's one of those teams. Like I said last podcast, I went to the Colts game previously when they were in Mini, and they destroyed us, and we were favorites in that game. They had it against the Bills, then in 2018. Then you have one against the Bears last year where we come out and we just don't perform. And you can look at it as maybe this is the game coming at a bad time where we are expected to overperform and we underperform. I don't understand extending Dalvin and only rushing him 14 times. I finished with 64 yards, I believe, and a touchdown. Why, if I'm Kirk Cousins going into that locker room at halftime, whether win or lose, we're riding you, buddy. I'm telling Dalvin, we're riding you, and at the end of the game, I want him exhausted. He is the best player on the team. Stephon Diggs out here balling out for the Bills, finished with $150 and a touchdown. Okay.
Yeah. My favorite stat just reading today was Stephon Diggs had more receiving yards today than the entire Vikings offense.
You got Kirk Cousins going in the late third quarter. You got him going in there with a passing rating of just 0. To be fair, 2 of those 3 interceptions, one hit off the hands on a little turnaround route of Olabisi Johnson. I don't know why he is in there so much. He can't. And then the other one was a Hail Mary. So just over. And then 3 consecutive games with a safety. Come on.
That's wild. That is wild.
This offense is too old school. They need to open it up. They need to get an identity on offense because they don't have. They're too easy to figure out. If you stop Thielen and you stop Dalvin, then you win the game. And defensively, that's why we're struggling. Our offense just goes 3 and out. Our guys are tired. They're rookies. Anthony Barr now gets hurt with a shoulder. It's going to have it looked at tomorrow. You have hopefully Danielle Hunter, which was supposed to be a minor tweak back in August, hopefully returning by week 4. But Yannick showed up and got a strip sack, which he does. But other than that,
he looked better today. He looked good. He looked good today. Ngakoue.
There's not too much positive to take away from this way. Having a home game against Tennessee next week.
Offensive line has not looked strong at all, has it?
No, it does not. This is this is a terrible Minnesota Vikings team so far.
Yeah, I mean, so what do you expect Minnesota to try to do to correct it? Are they? It's just funny to see the stat line here today, where Jonathan Taylor, a rookie, is getting 26 carries, and like you mentioned,
in all reality, Big Z, I would not be surprised if we go 4-12 and we get the 11th pick, where you could maybe screw it up, or you could maybe hit on it, and then we're just in this weird mediocrity year.
You're in a really dark place.
Really dark place. We have taken a nosedive in 3 weeks.
It's only week 2, Remy.
But I have not seen a team like this. I've seen it happen once every maybe 8-9 games back to back. Are you kidding me? You cannot compete with any team with a performance like Kirk Cousins had today. His performance was pathetic. 26 attempts, 113 yards, and 3 picks. Come on.
God, you're starting to sound like a Bears fan throwing your guy under the bus.
I'm as a diehard Vike fan, I'm sick of it. Justin Jefferson led with 44 yards receiving. Why isn't he getting more snaps? He's got 3 receptions. Thielen, 3 receptions. They don't know how to run their offense, and I hope Gary Kubiak somehow hears that, but he won't.
I mean, they would have had a lot more snaps. It's just Kirk Cousins kept giving the ball to
11 of 20.
Get the ball 3 and out. Get the ball 3 and out. Get the ball interception.
Kirk Cousins, 11 of 26, 113 yards, 3 picks, 9.2 QBR. One of the lowest I've seen all year. It was it didn't sound like you Vike that at all today, Remy.
No, nothing to Vike or like or any of that. On to the next one.
All right. I mean, we'll get into what they need to do in our upcoming preview episode later in the week. But Remy, just any last words on this game, or have you said all you need to say?
We don't win tomorrow. We're going 4-12. I mean, next week. Sorry.
All right. So the whole season is on the line next week for the Vikings. You heard it here. Oh man. Well, Remy, I just like to laugh with you because it's just funny that you said like this is the worst you ever see, or performance wise. Unfortunately, as a Lions fan, I've seen this throughout my life as a Lions fan. So I can more than appreciate your misery. But your misery, the way you're feeling is how I used to feel. But it's just happened so much to the Lions that it just becomes numbing to me, and I just kind of laugh it off now. So, and today was another one of those performances. But I won't get the first word in this game because the winners write history, as they say, and the Packers just. They whooped their ass, 42-21. It was close at half, 17-14. You would never know it by the end score. But Kinger, go for it, man. Just kind of recap and give your thoughts on this game, or initial thoughts.
Yeah, going into this week, I had a lot of confidence, and I think every week, as we discussed, there were a lot of reasons to be pretty high on Green Bay this week, and what they should have been able to do, the Lions defense, and a lot of that came to fruition today. I mean, from the start, it was a little bit. I mean, the Lions showed a little bit of their potential there in the first quarter and a half. They really controlled the tempo. Drove down, was able to run the ball with no Kenny Clark in the middle. The run defense was vulnerable there early for Green Bay. Detroit controlled the tempo, scored 2 early touchdowns. They're up to a 14-3 lead. I'm expecting, a shootout, right? That's what I said last week is that I thought it was going to be a higher scoring game. And then, eventually Green Bay's offense started to find its form. They were able to run the ball. The Detroit was obviously concerned about Aaron Rodgers. They were focusing heavy on the pass. They got the run game going, and there really was no stopping them. The first play of the second half, 75-yard touchdown. Aaron Jones goes for, and they let the horses loose, and from there it really went south for Detroit quickly. Very pleased and happy with Green Bay's performance this week.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the Packers just did what they wanted to do, and it's just atrocious. There was a lot of clamoring for Matt Patricia to be fired. There was already a lot of that before the season started, obviously, but after this performance and week one, just fourth quarter debacle, it's hard not to feel that way as well. I'll go around to you guys. Just ask, what have you seen from the Lions and Matt Patricia in the last 3 years? Do you think he deserves to be fired right now, or does he deserve a few more weeks here? I think he deserves a few more weeks. It's still week 2, and there was no preseason. The Lions are down. I mean, I'm not going to take injuries as an excuse. Everybody has injuries. But I just want to go around. Kinger, do you think Patricia should be fired?
Yeah, I'm not at that point yet either. And I hate to be, the guy spitting reality at you, Big Z, but the Lions, offensively, they do have a lot of talent, but they're still lacking a lot on defense, right? They really don't have any.
Oh, you think?
Yeah, again,
let's look at the play out of the first half here, Kinger. Aaron Jones, literally the first play, a handoff up the middle. No, barely touched.
Barely touched. Yep.
On a play up the A gap. Right in the middle.
Lindsley made a great block on that play, got to the second level, opened the hole, and Aaron Jones just did the rest. And the funny thing is, Big Z, I think they ran almost the exact same play. They just flipped it the very next play with the next drive.
For 25 yards.
Yeah, 20, 25 yards, something like that. Aaron Jones, 236 all-purpose yards today. It's the most by a Packer in 64 years. So, it was a pretty historic day offensively for what they were able to accomplish, which really does show that the Lions are they're still missing guys. And so Patricia has not shown he can win all those fourth quarter leads, all the leads that they've blown. But I still think you got to hang in there with them, at least for a little bit longer.
I agree. Oh man, let's just break down that play really quick. On that play, you have 3 down linemen, you have 4 linebackers, 2 on the outside. All the linemen take their gaps. The linebackers are responsible for maybe the middle 2 A gaps. And this is like Gerard Davis. He just runs into the offensive lineman's arms. He just allows him to block him with not even trying to shed a block. And same for our other linebacker Tavai. Just a complete debacle. The Patriots defense is a very linebacker focused defense, and the Lions have not developed a single amount of linebacker talent since Patricia's been there. It's been absolutely brutal, and that amongst other things is a concern. The lack of pass rush continues to be a major issue. Aaron Rodgers, with Aaron Rodgers, he's always had great pocket presence and ability to create extra time in the pocket. That's a part of his,
which he did pretty well. He did pretty well today. And that was the other thing.
There's no pass rush. It was just
that's true too. But you also got to remember too, your corners. They got. Okudah got a little bit of introduction to the NFL today. Devontae leaving. That's a little bit. I don't think there's too much of a cause of concern right there, but. A couple defensive holding plays by your young guys, and they got beat. So it was set up for Green Bay today to take advantage of that.
We gave you 30 free yards at the end of the first half, although the hit to the head one is iffy. But
he was out of bounds though. He was out of bounds.
The horse collar tackle is stupid. Will Harris, the safety for the Lions, he's got to be a top 3 worst tackler in the NFL, and yet they continue to throw him out there. I don't understand it. Barney, what do you think? Should Patricia be fired?
No, I really don't think he should be fired. I think, especially for COVID season, the first couple games, everybody should kind of get a few mulligans here. But I am very concerned for your defense.
It's bad.
I know we talked about that play, but dude, there was 4 guys in that ISO that just took incredibly poor routes and pursuit angles. And it's just
bad.
I feel
Reggie
like
Ragland.
I feel like they tried to make sure that they couldn't touch him. And so for a defensive coach, and that's where he gets his prowess, you'd expect a little bit
prowess.
You'd expect them to start getting better and stop being the Detroit that they've been for the last 20 years. So Yeah, I mean, you got to give him at least half the season, I think, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, and remember the Lions fired Jim Caldwell after going 9-7 to develop a championship-winning contender and we didn't, as most Lions fans didn't disagree with it necessarily because we would always beat the bad teams and lose to the good teams. And Patricia was supposed to bring we've seen this with other New England coaches where they go to other teams and it hasn't worked. And I thought Patricia might be different, but it is turning out maybe not to be that way. I still have a little faith. It's week 2, God willing, but it is rough. It is very rough. Yeah, Barney, you want to add something in there?
Yeah. Are you at least a little bit also concerned with, I know leading up to the season, we were, I thought we all were pretty in unison that Detroit would maybe make a few more steps this year, especially with their influx of Patriot players that have, made their way onto the team. And it just kind of seems like, these guys, at least from an outsider's perspective, these guys aren't going to play in the same,
There's a reason Bill Belichick got rid of him, is what you're saying. Oh, man. Bill Belichick always wins, one way or another, it seems. But King, let's just focus on a couple more of your guys. Also, Aaron Jones catching that ball over the cornerback, or Darrell Roberts, was just and then we tried to throw it to our running back over a cornerback at the end of the game. It didn't work out, of course, because that's how it goes. But, I mean, Aaron Jones looks really good, man, especially on a play like that where he's leaping over like a wide receiver. That's if he can continue to do that all year, man, that's really scary. Let's not forget, though, Green Bay is averaging 42.5 points a game right now to start the year. That is ridiculous. But, man, it's just so tough to grade
You want to
when they're playing the Lions defense, how good they actually are. But 2 games in a row against NFL teams is still legit. So
division teams too.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I mean,
Matt LaFleur 8-0 against the NFC North, Kinger.
I know
that's tough.
That's a conversation that I think needs to be more brought to the surface a little bit more, because since Matt LaFleur has become the coach of the Packers, they have completely dominated the NFC North, and that's the thing. 42 points a game, and I would be willing to bet that the Packers are top 5 in drops in the league right now too. There's been some big plays that have been left out there. That was probably the biggest focal point, or the biggest weakness of today, was the drops. A couple by our tight end, Jay Sternberger. Lazard had a couple today, although he had a couple big catches as well. But
Lazard didn't look good.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't look good.
Yeah, across the board, that's still a cause of concern. But the offensive line is been fantastic. I mean, quite frankly, it is the Lions haven't produced a pass rush, but that was the one thing I was going to give credit to the Lions today. Is I thought the Lions offensive line did a pretty good job, because the Packers really were nowhere to be found with the pressure today. A couple times, but really
they
overall,
sacked him 4 times.
Yeah.
Although the more of those were towards the end of the game when it was time.
And 2 of those were straight coverage sacks as well, right? I mean, you got it, like the one near the end zone, Stafford was back there for 8 seconds. Why he was holding on to the ball as long as he was,
This is something that just bothered me so much in the first 2 games here. Stafford's holding on to the ball forever. Nobody understands. He took that big sack against the Bears. He takes that sack in the end zone. Like, what the hell are you doing, dude? It's like he's back to being a rookie Stafford. It's just weird what's going on with him right now. He does not look himself. I have my reasons, but I won't mention them right now. But why I think he might be struggling. But it's frustrating. He hasn't looked like himself. The deep ball's not there. They need Kenny Galladay badly. I didn't realize how badly they might need him. But he's Marvin Jones hasn't been winning. They haven't really thrown it to him in those contested catches really either. 4 for 23 today. Amendola and Matt Stafford just way off on the same page today. It's so frustrating. I mean, the list goes on and on for Lions today.
I was really
42
I was really proud of our cornerback Shannon Sullivan, because he got beat early in the game on 2. I know it was 1 third down. I don't know if the other one was a third down as well, but Amendola beat him twice out of the slot, and then he comes back a few drives later and has that pick 6, which I don't know why Stafford threw that ball anyway, but comes back, makes a big play, and redeems himself after a couple shaky plays earlier in the game.
Yeah, Stafford should not have thrown that ball. Granted, I think it was it seemed like he was going to throw it no matter what because it was a quick turnaround throw, and they just read it great. But you can't have that at your own 5-yard line. Before that, Jamal Agnew waved the fair catch and then tried to go hit a guy. Like that's like rule number 1. Don't do that. It's a personal foul. Cost us 15 yards, and that probably contributed to the pick 6. The list goes on and on. We don't need to talk about the Lions debacle anymore, at least from the Lions side right now. I'll try to rewatch the game, see what we can possibly fix, but it's rough. So Remy, I feel I'm in pain with you, brother. I've been pain. The Lions and Vikings 0-2, Kinger and the Pack and Barney and your Bears 2-0 on top of the division right now. How
do you feel? How do you feel with Arizona? I always feel like you guys play them pretty tough. Last year you were up like 20 points or something like that when they came back. Or, are you feeling confident or do you? No, I wouldn't say confident. I don't think you're feeling confident at all. I can answer that right. But you think you guys turn it around and right the ship next week?
I don't know. I mean, the Cardinals are on fire right now. They just faced a team with a good defensive line, and they still played excellently. I mean, we're down 2 of our top cornerbacks going against an elite passing team. Our linebackers have not proven to be able to stop anybody with the run, and Kyler Murray is running all over the place right now in addition to passing against DeAndre Hopkins. It is going to be a tough sledding. Again, I'm just going to have to think about that one. But confident, I am much less so than I normally am 2 games into a season.
Did we as a whole avoid the injury bug today, or what's the latest from everybody's squads out there?
Yeah, I mean, I can mention the Lions injuries really quick, Kinger, before we get to everybody else. But it was more of what happened before the game, not much during the game per se. Kenny Galladay out with a hamstring again. Trufant was out with a hamstring. Chris Jones, our other cornerback, our big right tackle signing was out. Nick Williams, one of our big D tackle signings from the Bears, out. There's 32 hamstring injuries, I believe, in the NFL right now. People were out for, and last year there was 18 at this point, so it's already a heavy increase. But the Lions have 5 of those. Justin Coleman was out. Joe Dahl, starting left guard, is out. Everybody's out. Half the O-line, half the DBs. But that's the Lions anyways. Nobody wants to hear more about them. How about you, Barney? Any Bears injuries to report?
A relatively clean sheet here. I'm thinking the Bears are secretly kind of like the team from The Longest Yard. With like maybe they have like little shanks in their pockets out there because every team so far that has played the Bears is just drops like flies. Obviously Detroit got banged up last week, and then this week, if we wouldn't have won, that would have been just really hard to take in because Saquon went out at the end of the first. Sterling Shepard went down. People are just dropping like flies, and thankfully the Bears are staying healthy, but I don't know what the hell is going on.
Barkley tore his ACL, right?
Yeah, he did.
He's out for the year. Man, that's brutal. Across the NFL, ACLs, I mean, the San Francisco 49ers had it bad. Jimmy G's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, I guess. Nick Bosa out for the year with a torn ACL. Solomon Thomas out for the year with a torn ACL. Mostert, I don't know how long he's going to be out.
I think sprained MCL, so that's probably going to be 4 to 6 as well.
And they're already down a receiver or 2, and yet they won by a mile because they played the Jets. But I would still have more faith in the 49ers missing all those people right now than the Lions. That's how bad it is right now. But Remy, how about you? How about you with the Vikings? How you feeling? Or what's the injury? What's the injury bug there?
So yeah, Anthony Barr did leave with a shoulder injury and did not return. Supposed to get it looked at tomorrow. So
is that it? That's the only one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well that's good. That's good. How about you, Kinger? Was there anything with the Packers?
Yeah, I mean Devontae had somebody kind of roll into him early in the game. He came back, played a few series, but for most of the second half he was on the sideline. I don't know if it's a hamstring, ankle. But that's, I guess, something to watch. It didn't look like it was anything too serious, but we'll see And, again, we'll continue to monitor Kenny Clark.
Who's that receiver that took a good shot from our safety, Duron Harmon, who kind of dove into him on the go down the sideline?
Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Yeah, that was a little bit of a scary hit there for a minute.
Yeah.
But he came back.
That was my proudest moment as a Lions fan today. Someone actually laying their body out and trying to stop somebody. That was a nice change of pace for the defense. That was a rare moment today.
Yeah, he got popped there, and he actually came in, and I think his very next catch, he took another, and the very next target, he got popped again. So he took a couple licks today, but he was in there. He played pretty well as a whole again today.
He dropped another touchdown, though.
Yeah, he did. The drops, like I said, the drops are an issue, but he did, beat. I don't even know who the corner was down the sideline on the right side of the field.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, at the end. So, but again, nothing too serious. It appears for Green Bay, so it's very happy about that.
Kinger, are there any updates about what is going on with Kenny Clark? In terms of severity, or is it like just day to day, or is it week to week?
I'm pretty sure it's about a week to week thing, and he's just tweaked his groin, so he was in the rehab work. He's not. He's been active, just off doing different things to try and regain the strength. But they're definitely going to be careful with it because they know how important it is to have him long term.
Yeah, that's especially for next week's game with the Saints. They got a good O-line and obviously a pretty damn good, offense in general, even with Michael Thomas out. You guys would be, you guys obviously need Kenny there to help stifle that offense.
Yeah, hoping to have him back. That's going to be a big one next Sunday night. We got some elite primetime games, so I know that it's probably a benefit to Green Bay, not having the Superdome rocking, but would have been cool to have that. I've been looking forward to this. Me, a Purdue guy, get to see my guy Breeze go against Rodgers. So hopefully Green Bay can continue the run. They definitely have looked like one of the better teams in the NFL so far this year.
Yeah, and that's a big one, Kinger, Justin, especially with the new playoff rules. That number one seed is ever more important than ever before. It's a difference between a bye or not a bye now. So those are definitely two contenders, as it seems, at least. Man, and that's a Sunday night game. So the Packers are traveling to New Orleans, and then the Bears, as Barney mentioned, going to Atlanta. The Lions are traveling to Arizona, and Remy, the Vikings are hosting the Titans, right? Or are they going to Tennessee?
Correct.
They're hosting
we're home.
Okay. All right. So do they still blow the horn at the home games, even with no fans in the stands?
Oh, of course. Gallahorn, baby.
God, yeah, I hate that goddamn horn. It's annoying as hell. I'm not sure what's more. I think actually that's more annoying than Go Pack Go, because
nothing is more annoying than Go Pack Go.
I don't know, that horn lingers forever. It's really annoying.
That means it's living in your head rent free, which is good.
Fair enough. Well, I think that's going to wrap up our recap episode here. So Packers and Bears fans, I'm sure you're happy. Lions fans and Vikings fans, as Remy said, just hang in there. There's better days ahead, hopefully. But thank you, everybody, for listening. This is the Pile on NFC North podcast. Please subscribe to this podcast. Please share it if you like it, as we try to grow our NFC North audience. And go to Instagram, the Pile On. Follow us. Posting a lot of stuff on there. It's fun to follow. And Barney, Tariq Cohen got an extension, right?
Yeah. He got an extension. I think it's like right around ABA, like
3 for 17,
$5 million a year.
Yeah. So,
but yeah, 3 years. Everyone's a little up in arms right now about this is gonna somehow impact Allen Robinson's ability to be re-signed, and
that's ridiculous.
It's like, no, it's not. Relax.
It's fine.
We're gonna continue to try to iron out these details and get everybody signed for the long run.
But I found that out because I followed our Instagram page. So just letting you know. And so if you want to keep up on it, follow us on Instagram, The Pile On. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back later this week previewing the upcoming Week 3 of the NFL. And thank you to producer Kid J for helping us out as he continues to produce this podcast and do an excellent job. And congrats to him on he's a Rams fan. He's not an NFC North guy, but his Rams are also 2-0. So good for you. But all right, thank you, everybody, for listening, and have a good week.